What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And today we're back at it answering your questions in another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
Now, I have a question for you guys. So I know this channel is all about 40K, but I'm going to say a name of a certain character that has nothing to do with 40K and just see how many of you guys know who or what I'm talking about. Potemkin.
No. What was his weapon? No, it was like a punch, right?
Yeah.
It was like, it was a Potemkin. Is that really his name?
It was probably like Gilbert or something.
Yeah. I really hope you guys get it right. I really hope you guys know who we're talking about.
That was your dude, wasn't it?
It was. I really liked him. Yep. Tommy Falcon says, why didn't Big Daddy Emperor keep the Thunder Warriors around as an auxiliary force as my tongue wrestles with the upper part of my mouth? That's a good question, and it's a question that has not a very difficult answer, but I just like to draw it out because I like talking. The Thunder Warriors weren't adequate like strategists and tacticians, and they were meant to fight wars of attrition where the other side, so the other armies of the techno-barbarian warlords of old Earth, were just as tough and brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
basically think of them as like a pseudo-Ogren, more brawn than brains.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the Space Marines were a much better tool, I guess you could say. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of what the Emperor saw them as, just tools to achieve a certain goal. And where the Space Marines were the sleek, fit, quick, durable knife, the Thunder Warriors were like, think of it as like a knife, but it's got some chips, some scratches, and eventually it will break after a few uses.
Yeah, and they weren't children.
Yeah,
Space Marines were raised from adolescence to become Space Marines, whereas like the Thunder Warriors were just like, let's get whatever warriors or slaves we can capture and turn them into Thunder Warriors.
Yep. Now that's not to say that Thunder Warriors are completely eradicated. The Necrons have some in like their
Trays in the Infinites thingy.
Yeah, the stasis chambers or whatever you call them.
There's rumors that one of the main ones that like when the Emperor was about to kill like the last 300 Thunder Warriors, they escaped.
Yeah.
Rumors is that he's still alive. What's his name? I forget his name. Draco's maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Jonathan Sins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, next question.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on, would you want to see the Thunder Warriors as a playable race?
Not really, just because I don't like their armor layout. Like, it's very
it's
90.
too, yeah, it's very cartoony.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What if it had like a new 2020 revamp?
Maybe, yeah. Especially because they're bigger than Space Marines, so now we have what is it called? To size?
Oh, like the true to scale.
Yeah, true to scale. Mm-hmm. So like bigger Space Marines would be kind of nice.
Bigger than Primaris.
Yeah. But like without their shirts on. Just like muscular. And then I can be like, bro, how'd you get them pecs?
Oh. How did the freaking volume go up? This one's by Gruff Bevan. Do you think Farsight will start a rebellion against the Ethereals and take over the Tau Empire? Then perhaps we would finally get melee Tau. Is it melee or melee?
I usually say melee.
Oh, like
Pele?
melee?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, by the way, we're gonna start this thing where like on Patreon, you guys can, the link is down in the description. You guys can go onto Patreon and buy us a drink. That's gonna be one of the tiers, and then just let us know what type of drink you guys want us to take. And then what we do is we film these back to back to back to back. So all 3 episodes back to back. So if you guys have us do like multiple drinks, then by this one we might be turned
Into chaos.
Mm-hmm. What was his question?
Will Farsight start a rebellion and take over the Tau Empire?
That's for sure your question.
Mm-hmm. I think so. The way it's kind of going throughout the lore, like the ethereals are starting to be seen as more of like the evil guys. Shadow Sun is seeing the good in Farsight instead of just outright destroying statues of him and saying, "We're with the ethereals, we're for the Tau." So I think there's starting to be a shift in the politics, I guess you can say. And we haven't gotten any lore of what like the Farsight enclaves have been up to. There's been assassins been sent to kind of take out Farsight and whatnot, but yeah, I could definitely see Farsight reclaiming the sector of Tau space. Who's going to be in control and how is that going to work out? Because Tau only lived for like 40 years. So if like you have Shadow Sun that Farsight appoints as like the ethereal supreme or whatever new title they have, that's going to change because like they need a way to live longer. Because then you automatically in 40 years you're going to lose a notable character, and it's like, well, what do? You can't just keep her in stasis the whole time, because then who's going to lead? So it would only make sense for Farsight to lead because of that life-stealing sword he has. And do I want to see melee Tau? I don't know.
That's what the recruiter for.
Right.
Or auxiliaries.
Yeah. But I would like to see at least a few more like close combat-y relics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think GW does have potential with expanding the auxiliary force units. Because Vespids are cool, Crude are cool, but there's way more like auxiliary forces that are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Floating polar bears?
That's true, yeah.
That brings 40K to a whole new level.
Jonathan S. Johnny Sins? What? According to the way GW treats the Emperor, he could single-handedly obliterate the universe simply by coughing. I don't know. Yeah. You think so? You think the
way GW portrays him, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, if GW was portraying him to be this like super badass, unstoppable, OP Mary Sue, why hasn't he done anything?
Oh, he has though, like
indirectly.
Yeah,
but like
that's what makes him like so, like
cool.
He's Oz from the Wizard of Oz.
Fake.
Yeah, yeah. Like in reality, he's just a really strong psyker, a really powerful psyker. But the way the Imperium portrays him, it's like he's more than what he is.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if anything, the Emperor is like a missed opportunity for GW to do more with.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the Emperor's whispering and the Emperor's taking over or giving his power to Gilliman to fight like demon primarchs and whatnot. But it's like he could be doing so much more.
Yeah, he could be doing stuff like the Yin Yang twins were doing back in 2008.
Hey, little baby, let me whisper in your ear.
I just did that for the ASMR. You're welcome, guys.
Wait till you see mine.
Oh.
I wonder what they're doing. Are they still considered twins?
I don't think they were ever twins, because if you look at them, like, not even fraternal.
It was all just a ruse.
Yeah. I bet they're doing pretty good, though, because their whole crew was led by Lil John, and Lil John was low-key smart as fuck. It's just his eyes.
That's why he had the shades.
Rumor has it that he is the first navigator in existence. Because if you want to plot the 40K timeline with our timeline, it fits like perfectly. As in, like, the first navigators are starting to become born now, and I think Lil John was one of the first.
I could see that. That's why he has so much trouble hearing.
Yeah,
because he's focusing on traversing the immaterium.
What do they call it? Skins of the warp or something like that. Skein. Is that skeins or skins?
Skines?
Skines?
I don't know.
Eric Romero says, can the flare virus affect the Stormlord and other Necron rulers? And if it can, would they still be in power? I think the flare virus can affect pretty much every single Necron thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's nasty. It's like COVID, but worse.
Yeah. This one is by Shadow Alex. Do you think that if the Imperium forged an alliance with multiple other Xenos, such as the Eldar, the Drukhari, the Tau, all at the same time, could they finally start beating back the greater threats, like the Necrons, the Nid, the Chaos? So we get this type of question pretty often, And the thing is, you got to remember, the Imperium is xenophobic. They do not like things that are different than themselves. They hate the alien races of 40K. They want to keep humanity in line, being governed by the High Lords and praying to the God Emperor. They're not going to want to ally with the Tau, the Eldar, because they're going to bring in these new beings, and humanity is going to see them as like, oh, look how technologically advanced that is, we should join them. And then that's how you get the Guevesa. With the Eldar, it's a little bit different because they look down on humanity. They see them as Monkeys, aka monkeys or lessers. So that's a different type of thing. But again, bringing in all this new stuff to just a regular basic human, that's going to be mind-boggling because most humans don't even know of these other beings and things in the galaxy. Like, they don't know about chaos, they don't know about Tau. They're just there for menial, grueling work. Well, depending on the planet they're on. But yeah, so because of that, I don't see any long-standing like alliances with these types of factions.
Yeah.
It'll happen for like a campaign or two, but then they'll split or they'll betray one another for their greater goals.
Yep. Next question comes from Simon Teese. If squats return to the 40K galaxy as playable factions, how would you reintroduce them as part of the storyline? That'd be really difficult just because their whole thing is that they were destroyed by the Tyranids, so they need to have some type of like vengeance towards the Tyranids and also a way for them to have survived the assault of their planets.
Yeah.
So maybe like a small expeditionary force that comes in, or like some type of like regiment that's like legendary that had gone on an expeditionary fleet and now is back.
Right.
Maybe.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
You can always tweak the lore to make it work.
Yeah.
This one's by Andrea Necci. For these categories, tell me the best or the most well-known Space Marine. The strongest. To me, Arjak Rockfist. Dude from like the Space Wolves. Yeah. Essentially the Thor of Space Marines.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
The fastest.
Sonic.
Gotta go fast.
That's a really tough one. I want to say like some guy from the Raven Guard, or who's the Loki character from Space Wolves?
Oh, I think that is his name.
Loki.
Something Loki.
Yeah. And the reason for that is just because like that's his whole like thing. Like he appears and disappears, and he's kind of like a lone thing.
Isn't he like a cloak?
Yeah.
That lets him camouflage. He blends with the hood.
Yeah.
The smartest. Belisarius Call? That's not a Space Marine.
Marty's Calgar, I feel. Most tacticianists, kind of like strategists or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most resistant.
Probably an Iron Hands guy.
Like an Iron Father.
Yeah. But other than that, what Space Marine name character have we seen that just get beat up over and over and over?
Calgar.
Calgar.
Dude
Yeah.
lost 3 of his 4 limbs.
Yeah.
He died and came back as Primaris.
Yeah.
But I'd say Calgar. Dude's resilient.
Or Blackmane too, because the same thing happened with Blackmane.
Yep, he died. And then, like, oh no, he's dead. But wait, death is a step in becoming a Primaris.
Yeah. That's it.
That's all he's got.
That was fun.
It was fun. More different categories, like the sexiest, the top, the submissive.
Who is the sexiest?
Sanguinius.
Well,
unless
Space
you're,
Marines, though.
yeah,
And name characters of now 42.
Yeah.
42nd, yeah. Fulgrim.
Even as a demon.
Demon. Yeah, maybe. He does have fangs. That's kind of sexy. Comment down below. Do you guys think fangs are sexy?
Does that mean you think like tarantulas are sexy?
No, because you don't ever see them. Like when you look at a tarantula, you have to like really look at it in order to see the fangs. What has fangs that I think is sexy? Vampires?
Werewolves?
Nah, most werewolves are gross. Wasn't there a werewolf in Suicide Squad?
Something like that. You gotta watch it.
He burns to death. Spoiler alert, right?
I'm just gonna say you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
If you guys have seen it, you know how wrong he is. But definitely watch it. To me, it's the best movie I've seen this year. So I think you'll like it. You like Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's the same thing.
Yeah. James Gunn had complete control over this movie, so It's very James Gunny. That's the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I just like the fact that there's a shark, and it reminds me of the Street Sharks from back in the day.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything because I want you to be surprised.
This question comes from Brian Pagan. Could a single Space Marine walk into Mordor?
Yeah. Crypt walk, moonwalk.
Do whatever he wants. He's a Space Marine. He has adamantium.
Right. What is going to pierce his armor?
Magic?
Yeah, okay, that's true. I didn't think about that. I'm just thinking like arrows, a sword, rocks, a goat.
A goat, yeah. There's goats in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, remember the dude was riding a goat? One of the
the rams.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I forgot about that. The GW Rams are probably some of the most badass looking models ever. Or no, they're Forge World, I think. Yeah, Forge World.
I think it is Forge World, yeah.
Yeah. This question comes from the big one. My doctor says I need a new butt since mine has a crack in it. What should I do?
Just get some super glue and squish them cheeks.
Yeah. I do remember from like childhood when I used to use super glue in order to like, build my stuff, and like my fingers would get stuck. I would like that feeling of like tearing it off, because it wasn't like pain. It was like, I don't know, it was like a satisfying pain.
Interesting.
You never had that?
No, I didn't like getting dirty.
Oh.
Like I would avoid getting glue on my hands. I think that's another reason why I never got into the whole like painting and modeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that for my first Tau army, and after that I'm like, no mas.
Yeah.
No menos. Thomas Falcon. Is there a reason why a loyalist Space Marine couldn't use a traitor weapon? For example, an Ultramarine using a sonic weapon. I feel like those are just some heavy speaker guns. Maybe like a homebrew Cholo Space Marine chapter where all the Vatos roll up in some rhinos with some hydraulics and sonic weapons that look like regular subwoofers would be 100% rad.
Wait, what was his main question?
Why can't regular Marines use chaos weapons?
Okay.
Or traitor weapons is how he called it.
Because they're corrupted. So, like, even by touching it and using it, like, you not only, like, physical corruption, but also, like, the corruption of the mind. Mm-hmm. That's not to say that Space Marines haven't done that in the past. There's been a lot of instances of, like, Space Marines taking the weapons of Xenos and using it to kill the Xenos as a last-ditch attempt.
Or you just say it's not Xenos weapons, very ancient human weapon, such as the phase blades that are used by the Death Watch.
Yeah.
It's Necron technology.
Yeah.
But basically the thing is, like, why would I use a bolter when I can use this bolter that blows up into, like, fish?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm using this Zeech blaster that turns you into a fish bird. And then eventually it's like, well, why am I going to use this blaster? I could just pray to Zeech and just turn you into a fish.
Yeah, and who knows if there's like an on-off switch on these things. Mm-hmm. Like if they are using a sonic weapon and then Slanesh is just like, no, that works for my dudes, not you. And then just turns the switch off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like orc weapons where they're only supposed to work for orcs.
Yep, it blows up. Mm-hmm. In their hands, unless you're an orc. No, you're a Armageddon orc hunter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one we already covered. This one's by Damned Legion. Can I get some info about the Damocles command rhino? And is it even worth it? I think that's one of the few vehicles that you could use as an HQ. The Damocles command rhino. But I think it's a Forge World only unit. Essentially it's just like a hub of command on the move. So I never really looked into these type of things when it comes to like bit list building and that kind of stuff, because it's like, why am I going to use a rhino as my HQ when I could have like anything else? Yeah, so I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, lore wise we'll probably do a 40 facts video on it at some point,
right? Because it is pretty cool seeing like a rhino and having people listen to it.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
That's right. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
up my